Gabby, and I'm here with Heather and Garrett, and we are code-blooded. We've created a site called Cheap Shark Game Deals that provides a platform with top PC game deals all in one place. We initially were going to go with web scraping using Steam and Epic Games, and while Steam worked perfectly, Epic Games gave us a little trouble with CAPTCHA, and we decided instead of hacking Epic Games, we would use Cheap Shark's API for obtaining the necessary information for our site. So let's go with the reason we're all here, the demo. So I worked with Garrett on the request deals, and I created a function to return the highest rating. This will return the game with the highest ratings to the client. I also created a function to retrieve the top deals from the API. The amount of deals pulled from the API is dependent on the variable n, which is the page size per Cheap Shark's API. I also created a emailing script using the SMTP standard library in Python, as well as email message, which is a standard sub-module of Python's class email message, which has been around since Python 3.6. The script uses the database to pull the top 50 deals and only delivers the top 10 to the user. The send Outlook email function is where the magic truly happens. Here we establish a connection with the Gmail server using EHLO or extended hello connection. The start TLS switches to a secure channel, and then the EHLO establishes a connection again under the TLS connection. The login logs into the account that we have created on Gmail, and then the message is sent to the user. This function will run in a loop, which is set to run every 24 hours. At this time, the time.sleep is commented out for the purposes of this demonstration. This part of the project was a huge challenge for me because I thought it was a plug in your username and password and just send the email situation, and it turns out you actually need to set up two-factor authentication and then generate an app password in Gmail for this to work. From here, I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Garrett.
Hi, I'm Garrett, and I also worked on the request deals py file along with Gabby. Now, I made the search games function, which returned the deals from Cheap Shark's API in JSON format, and then the return cheapest entry function, which returns the cheapest deal for a specified game. Now, I also developed the backend database for our project using Python's built-in SQLite 3 library. Our database is the backbone of how we manage and display game deals on the site. So we use two main tables here, one for the top deals and another for user searches. So when you search for a game or view the top deals, our app pulls the latest data from Cheap Shark's API and stores it in these tables. This way we can quickly serve results and keep the site responsive, even if the API is slow or unavailable. Each table stores detailed information about every deal, like the game title, store ID, sale price, original price, discount percentage, and more. Now, this structure allows us to efficiently sort and filter deals based on what the user wants to see. So for sorting, we've implemented several database functions from SQLite 3 that lets users organize deals by alphabetical order, sale price, original price, discount, etc. So when you click a sort button on the website, our Flask app calls the appropriate sorting function in the database, and the results are instantly updated on the page. Now these functions work seamlessly for both the grid and list views, and we also have a database table for email subscription. So when a user signs up, their email is stored in the database, and our email bot can send out daily deal updates to everyone on the list. I'll pass it on to Heather.
Hey everybody, I am Heather, and I did most of the work on the app.py and the front end part of this project. So the first thing that I would go over is with the app.py application, we used Flask, and also it uses Jinja to render HTML templates. So with Flask, what it's doing is you have get routes and post routes. So get routes are what display pages. That's going to be for like top deals or for autocomplete for our suggestions, while post routes are going to handle any kind of form submissions. So for our searches, for our fallback if we need to use the API for some reason if the database fails. Also our subscribe for email sign up is another post that we use to handle a form submission of your email. So what we first do is we call the API to the database to build a store map with a dictionary mapping store IDs to the name and the image URLs that come from the API. So each store is given a specific number, and we wanted to make sure that we could map those numbers to the actual store name so they would show next to our games. This lets the template look up store information without extra API calls. And then in our main, what we're doing is we're pulling 1,000 deals into our deal table. And then what we do with just our /app in our app.py is we are just pulling the top 50 to display. We also have the ability to search, so you can search alphabetically by the sale price, the original price, the savings price, the deal rating that Cheap Shark has on their API. There's a deal rating. All of those are stored in the database, and if for some reason the database fails, then we can fall back to the API from Cheap Shark for the information that we need. So when we're talking about the search functionality, so that uses both get and post because it's getting the information while it's also posting and submitting the information that we're requesting through the search. We first look up the matches in the search table, and if it misses, then we call the API, we get the results, and then we pull it again. So, and then all the other sorting options apply here too, just like with the top deals. For autocomplete, on the front end, we have JavaScript. There's a small amount of JavaScript that I had to use to be able to do the grid view, list view, and also for the autocomplete itself. So what it does is it listens to input, and once you have 2 letters typed in, then you actually pull a get on the autocomplete. So it calls the API, and for each additional letter that you put in, it pulls the information and gives you a top 5 list. If you click on any of those options, it directs it to the HTML website link. And the email subscription that's at the bottom uses post, and that one is just submitting the information that we need for the email so it can use Gabby's mailer.py app to send the information. For front end, we just used HTML and CSS to make everything look beautiful, and now we're going to give you a demo of the actual site itself.
Okay, so from a Mac computer, you're just going to navigate to the folder that your the program is in. You're going to type in source, and then go to and then run the init.sh. This will open up a virtual environment so that we don't put any hazardous information or unnecessary information and override any libraries that are needed for other programs on your computer. And then we will run the Python 3 app.py, and that will pull up eventually our website.
Eventually.
One of these days. Okay, and then you're just going to copy that link and open up a browser of your choosing and paste that in. This is the site that we have created. You can sort by list view or grid view. You can sort by title, sale price, original price, or deal rating or discount. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, you can put in an email address. We've created an email specifically for this. And it would help if I had the correct email. And this will actually, at this time, it'll just generate an email to every single subscriber, just because we have that information commented out. So I will show you the email. That generates the top deals, and it'll show just the list of those top 10 deals with hyperlinks to access that deal, redirecting to the website for the deal. We also have that option to click purchase here, and that will navigate you to the site for purchase.
And then we also have the autocomplete. We'll show you what the autocomplete does. So if you were to type in a game name and it gives you those top 5 results, and then any of them that you click on, it will direct you directly to that game page, or if you type in a word and hit enter, then it gives you the top search results for whatever the word is that you typed in if you don't click on one of the top 5 autocomplete suggestions. And that's about it. Everything else was just beautifying it up. We wanted the store logos to be next to the game titles. Just tried to make everything look as good as we possibly could, and keep everything with like a really nice graphical user interface.